So we have to get together and we have to try to make a plan that works for you and works for you, works for me, right? Independent of your religion or your version of the religion, right? Or my not having a religion. We got to do that together, right?
Well, as always, even what Guerilla Hebrew said, the first things first is that order must be established, and that order is established with the law, statute, commandments. That's the most important thing. Like, black people need a moral compass.
I asked for one. Over 12 million people came over on boats, brother, and you cannot tell me one. You're quoting books. I'm not asking for books, because we got a bunch of books out here. I could buy all of them right now. The issue is, none of you guys who claim to be Hebrew Israelites perpetrating that fraud on us, by the way, can tell us right now that show me one person out of the 12 million that came over on a ship, on a boat, and said they were Hebrew Israelites.
You see, now look, he gonna sit here and talk about a bunch of dead people, and I gotta go and dig somebody up and show him one.
No.
But look, I can say something. Number one, a brother who's from Jamaica, Mathato of House of David, just went to Jamaica and did an interview with the Maroons. Didn't now one of them say they was Muslim. What the hell are you talking about?
I want to say this to my brother, Guerilla Hebrew. We got love for you over here, brother. But this ain't gonna be no walk in the park, man. You gotta go through the initiation just like Captain Tazaryach, just like Daniel Allah, just like Hashar. This ain't no walk in the park for you. So these questions coming at you, man, we got love for you.
And that's a fact. Welcome to Harlem, brother Guerilla Hebrew. If there's one thing about Harlem, you can't come through there without the information being challenged. You can't just say anything. The black folks at Harlem and then they eat it. They will question and challenge, but they're also are always known how to keep it together and do it in a tactful way that keeps the family intact. Please do not try this at home. This is done by licensed professionals. We be ready to fight and kill one another over it. Believe me, I see it all the time. When I go different places, I see it. People try what they see, we get all amped up. But don't do that, family, because if we don't have the love for self and kind the way we should yet, then we'll end up being an enemy to ourselves, because we can't deal with the opposition and the critiquing without becoming an enemy to ourselves. So just sit back and enjoy and learn something for those of you who I'm talking to, and learn something from the brothers and sisters of Harlem, the foundation of black information, otherwise known as the Black Belt in New York City. Peace and black power.
Can we have a conversation? Forget the books.
That's right.
Because we all got books, right? I want to know what the best plan is. I want to know from the Hebrew brothers, because y'all coming here to do war. Y'all having a summit, right? That's war, right? I mean, Guerilla Hebrew is flying in from Cali. You ain't see him fly in for nothing, right? None of debates. They here for war, right? And ISUPK is looking out from the perch, right? You gonna be at the summit?
No.
That's what I'm saying. ISUPK is looking out from the perch, right? Look, I don't know about the rest.
Call the general on the back phone, see what's going on.
But the ISUPK is looking out on the perch, right? Because but the problem is with unity, right? Unity is the key to power. So I want to know from you two brothers what your plans are for our people, and I'll give you my plan. And let's talk about what's the best plan, right? So if you have 2 or 3 minutes, get black people from point A to point Z in 3 to 5 minutes. Who want to go first?
First and foremost, all praise Yahweh Shem Yahushua, of course. We have to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what we have to do. The brother referenced the differences in the Israelite camps. That's also something that we got to get together. The hashing out of different, and everybody just getting on an accord. You know what I mean? This brother represents the ISUPK. We just came, we went to see his camp, and then we're like, all right, we went to One West, you know what I'm saying, just to go there. Because that's where all of it come from. All these camps, that are prominent, that are relevant. You said what?
How did they receive you when they seen you?
What, at One West right now? Yeah, ain't nobody. I'm talking about the Applebee's and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So we just was, just there to see it. You know what I mean? So we all come from that. That's where all these elders, this is where they come from. They all came from that school. I've been around certain of them. They telling me all these stories. Wonderful, right? But certain things happened. Certain schisms came for a plethora of reasons. So something has to be done, to kind of, to rectify. You understand what I'm saying? Because it all came from one place. You know what I mean? So it's like real quick, like UPK always says, it's one body, right? But go ahead.
Can I correct you, sir? They all came from the commandment keepers and Rabbi Bivens or Bibbins, right? Whatever you want to call him, because he's both those same people.
Yes, sir.
He began the process with Ariah and Yaqub and Moshe.
Yes,
he
sir.
did. So I just wanted to stop it. Did you go see the original One West 123rd Street?
123rd Street. You talking about the commandment? See, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about the commandment keepers. General Yohana did a interview that was with Rich, right? He went into all that. You see what I'm saying? What the commandment keepers was Black Judaism. You understand what I'm saying? And he seen the issue in that because he was taught by a former slave was Abba Bivens about that he was an Israelite. Then when he came up here, he got with the Black Judaism and he had to break off on that. And they wasn't teaching the New Testament. You see, which is what we into. You see what I'm saying? So. Yeah, you can say that. The same. Hold on. No, but look.
I'm just giving the history.
The same way I came up believing in God through the Catholic Church. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't no different. But I had to get up out of there. You know what I mean? It wasn't right. Was my belief in God wrong, or was the doctrine wrong? Is the doctrine
information about the process? You're just adding to your point of view. All right?
Exactly. No, that's which is fine. But we got to hash it out. And we got to try to come on one accord again. And the thing about the summit, you know what I mean, that the other camps is doing, UPK is not doing, but the other camps is doing, is working towards that direction. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so let's get to the plan, right? let's cut this out. Yes, huh? You gonna go first?
He went first, man. He spoke first. I was supposed to speak.
So I talked about I interrupted him about so let's get with the plan from A to Z, right? Capt Tazaryach, right? How are we gonna get our people from A to Z with the UPK method or the ISUPK method? How are we gonna, given what we live in today, how are we gonna move them, right?
No sweat. I appreciate it, man. Well, as always, even what Guerilla Hebrew said, the first things first is that order must be established, and that order is established with the law, statute, commandments. That's the most important thing. Like, black people need a moral compass. We don't have a moral compass. It's like we live in a society with no guidelines. Even if you look at the guidelines of the white man, they're not guidelines because they don't really tell you what you can do and what you cannot do, and there's no real death penalty or any type of penalty for it. Whereas with the Most High, there is a penalty for it. If you take homosexuality, there's a penalty for that. It's called AIDS. It's called HIV. If you take smoking cigarettes, there's a penalty for that. There's cancer. Those are the plagues and stuff that we get. Now, how do you prevent that? You follow a moral compass, which is what we call the law, statutes, commandments. That's the foundation. Now, once you establish that foundation and feed it out to the masses and get us all on one accord, what we will then do is affiliate with who we're supposed to affiliate. What do I mean by that is, the biggest problem we have with black people in this society, no matter what you call, is the love for the goddamn white man. That's the biggest problem we got. I don't care if you call yourself Israelite, Christian, Muslim, conscious, or whatever. When you bring up that white man and separating from him, there's an issue because a lot of people don't understand what that separation means. That separation means simply whatever your commerce is, that is. But just like they go to work with you, but then go home and deal with their people, we supposed to be home dealing with our people. And you got to go outside. You can't do that from the comfort of your own home or your own couch. We have to put our face on the street, feet on the ground, presenting people with solutions. Now, in that process, it's going to be hard because our people are stiff-necked, as the scriptures say. Our people are hard-headed, like the scriptures say. But the Lord said he'll make our head harder than theirs, so that when they try to come at us with their knowledge, they'll lose. And what'll happen with the brothers when they lose their knowledge and they get the knowledge of the Most High? They'll come into the truth. So that's how you do it. And it sounds simple as hell, but it's a very difficult task to achieve when you're dealing with the conditions that we're dealing with today. So that's the blueprint to get fixed. If I could just speak on the history or whatever with the One West and stuff like that. From our perspective, One West, first of all, never died at all because Commander Jenny never left. You understand? Like for the summit that they're having, the summit is cool if they want to do that summit, but to do it properly, they should have been in here with ISUBK. Now, the reason why I say that, and here's the thing about truth. Like John 8:32 said, ye shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free. So when we're going to resurrect One West, which for ISUBK is not about resurrection because Jenny never left. But if people are going to speak about One West, they should come to where One West is at. Since 2010, Jenny gave a decree for all camps to come together. To do anything outside of that is really against what he laid down. Now, he ain't saying that because he's Jenny. The scriptures tell you that. When Nehemiah resurrected the temple, he didn't go resurrect Nehemiah's temple. This ain't Commander Jenny truth. This is the Lord's truth. That's all it ever could be. So it's for us to come together under that realm. Now, as we get to that, then for ISUBK, we're doing that. We're giving out that order, and we're on the streets giving out the order for blacks and Hispanics. So when you talk about how do we get out of that condition, a moral compass first. You can't even talk about we need money. Black people got money. They just came out with a report where Christian church as a whole is getting $11 billion a year. If you talk about drug dealers, we know all the money and stuff that they making. So it ain't like there ain't money in the ghetto or the hood, but because there's moral compass in Christian church, they tell you can do whatever you want. The drug dealer trying to tell you to do whatever you want, and the only people dying is us. So somebody got to go out there and be the voice. So that's the fix and solution for black people.
All right, here go my 3 minutes, right? My 3 minutes is simply, the first thing is that we as our people have to have a common identity. Not complete unity, but a common identity like we have it right now. This is a common identity.
That's where it starts.
Right, a common identity. After that, we as a group, as a unit, have to do body politics. We have to get together and we have to try to make a plan that works for you and works for you, works for me, right? Independent of your religion or your version of the religion, right? Or my not having a religion. We got to do that together, right? Right? After we do that, we have to form corporations. Not formal corporations, but sometimes formal corporations. Why? Because, thank you, because they move commerce. Meaning there's special skill sets, special areas that we have to pay attention to. After we form corporations, right, to do exactly what we need, then we start taking government. The governments that we can take together, brothers, right, are the cities that are majority populated by us, independent of our religion. Because all we have is a base identity that we can start with, right? Now, when we take government, me, you, right, and you, right? When we take government, which is most likely best for us is the local city governments, right? Then we can do legislation that helps you and your divisions, right? The divisions that we have, right? To make the best, to make the quality of life better. That is the Black City Plan. The Black City Plan says, basically, in that, I can work with y'all. Because we don't got no beef. We can throw away the books when we're having a conversation, but when we want to argue moral and ethical things, we can bring out the books, right? The only difference is between my plan is that right now, in my studies of religion, it don't move until God comes down and talk to somebody. In history.
That's not true.
God has always been a part.
Right, now that part is true. The Most
God
High
has
is
always been a part. Well, right now, in your version, right, the General Yohana he's doing the right thing as far as the Most High says. He is connected to the Most High, right? And in your version, I guess Guerilla Hebrew, who is?
I'll say multiple.
Your sect?
I'll say multiple people. I'll say multiple.
You say multiple people.
I wouldn't say it was, I definitely wouldn't say it's we about
biblically,
12 dudes.
but biblically, watch this. God don't talk to multiple people. God usually only talked to one person, like Abraham
he
or
had
Moses.
He had multiple prophets at different times. It was a school
at
of
different
prophets,
times,
right?
but at one time, see, that's what General Yohana is saying, huh?
Y'all talking, right?
Yes.
Go ahead,
No, this is my few seconds.
You more than 3 minutes though.
3 minutes. So
No, more than 3 minutes.
more than 3 minutes. So I'm gonna close until we go to the next segment. But see, my plan, Black City means me, all of us. We could go and take these cities. We could go and take Oakland. We could go and take. New York is really not a black city, so we have more difficulty. But we could go to Philly and other places and take those black cities, right? And then do government. No, it's a corridor. We never had power.
Go in,
Right? That's Harlem is simple. They knew eventually that they was gonna take back Harlem. So Harlem was always a corridor like Black Wall Street. So we get confused on that.
Let me say something though, real quick to his point. When his talk.
Put something together because y'all ain't got to.
Yeah. So anyway, the brother said something about the Black City plan. It sounds good, right? He mentioned the city though, and that city has kind of prompted me to say something. He mentioned the city of Oakland, California. Is Oakland, California a quote unquote black city? I mean, maybe, right? Maybe by number, not by percentage when you deal with the percentage, right? But let's say Oakland. We have to understand how the white man is running Oakland. Because let's say we go in there and we take over legislation. How we going to keep the dope out? How we going to keep men from pimping out our sisters on E14 in Oakland? The only way to do that is going to be with the laws, statutes, and commandments in the Bible. Now, because I'm going to say this. There is nothing on the walls of Kemet that prohibits prostitution. There's images of prostitution on the walls of Kemet as a glorified state. In the law, matter of fact, give me that. Give me Deuteronomy 23:17 real quick, just so we can show that. Where on the glyphs is that? I don't know the name of the thing, but I've showed the picture. You know the women. Hold on. Is there not women scantily clad? Are they not wearing fishnets? Do they not have red lipstick? Do they not have tattoos? That's not prostitution. That's prostitution to me. Now hold on. If I go to a strip club, if I go to a strip club and my sisters are dressed like that, I'm gonna call them prostitutes. I don't give a damn what type of semantics you want to play. That's a hoe. Go ahead.
Now, but wasn't that? Isn't that in? You're judging that from today's culture standards. Even and there are certain regions of Africa right now where our beautiful women can walk around in civilization topless because men's moral compass aren't as corrupt as in Western society. So it is a given that those imageries do adorn women's bodies, but you can't measure that with today's standards. The body was not looked at in the same way. Would you not agree?
Well, hold on, wait. Let me finish my point now. Hold on. Go ahead, Capt.
Where Herman Small, hold on, it only gonna take but 30 seconds. It ain't gonna take but 30 seconds. Where Herman Smalls just said, where Herman Smalls just said in some African cultures, you can walk around with your titties out. What he's saying is, he wants your little daughters and girls to walk around with their damn titties out. Come on, man. Come on. But so in Herman Small's form of culture, he want my daughter with her titties out. That's why we need law, statute, commandments. Because seeing titties out is why these kids is getting raped the way they getting raped. Which is why in Brooklyn, that gang of brothers would have sex with that sister. And what is the sister doing? Having sex with a father, of course. That's why the law, statute, commandments is the only solution for black people. No matter what politics, money, or whatever, if you ain't got something that give you hedges to say you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, what are we doing here? You know how I know it don't work? Because that's what we got now. What hedge do we have now? None. What law do we have now? None. So don't tell me about having your titties out in some culture. You want my daughter with her titties out? No, you can't get it. I said I gotta give it to
you can't do that. All right. First and foremost, right? The problem comes down with scholarship is when you make a point like something on the walls and you can't name the walls, then temporarily you lose the argument. You lose the argument. Next, let's just move on.
Google.
However, Google is not our God, yo. So the next point is that
Notice he never said
we do know that Israel or Judah had problems with Benjamin, and we know the problems in Benjamin. It is more a problem of those issues are more written out with the houses of prostitution inside the Bible, right? And the problems with Benjamin than it is anywhere else. So let's just move off of that because that's a distraction. That's ancient history.
You talking about walls? Or the records?
Yeah, the records. I'm just saying, Right. So my whole point of it is
Hold on, wait,
that
wait,
Israel,
let's stop
that
this.
Israel. Yes.
I'm about to disqualify this cat real fast. This cat put out a tape, 12 minutes. He said he gonna pay for somebody to go to college if they can show when, if we were serving the God of the Bible, that he was with us. Here's the proof. That's what he said. It's on camera. Here's the proof. The Lord killed the goddamn Egyptians because we was following the commandments. After we came out of Egypt, there were 6 other nations living in the land of Canaan, and the Lord allowed us to have victory over them. He's disqualified. Then he said, where were there any slaves that called themselves Hebrews? All you got to do is look up the names of the damn slaves, and you'll see their names got Yah and so forth on the end. He's disqualified. So when y'all see on the tape, when y'all see me on the tape that I'm not addressing him, I don't respect illegitimate scholarship.
Okay.
So that's why I don't address it. But I only got about 5 more minutes.
5 minutes for him.
If I could just say one last thing.
Hold on. I'll say this before I give it. What I'm going to say is that sometimes these little problems interrupt unity, right? Because we were talking about
We was fine until he
solutions,
came.
right?
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So some of these petty things, we got to have body politics, right? Okay, so Garfield, come in, right? Address that.
All right. I'm disqualified, according to the brother, my good brother, Captain Tazaryach, because he said that I said in a 12-minute video by Son of the Studios that anybody that could provide proof that anybody that came over on ship said they were Hebrew Israelites, I will pay for their children to go to college. That's what I said. I never said anybody coming over here and praising Yah. That's not what I said. I never said anybody praising Yah. I said, hold on a second.
I didn't say that either.
Now the brother made a reference, and I'm gonna show you something about scholarship, why I am qualified. He said something about Yah, the people coming over on the boats, right? Did you know that the people that came over on the boats with the African names, 822 to be exact, 822 people had the name YAH, right? Did you know they left from one part of Africa to go to Freetown? They never came to America or to the West? He doesn't know that, but I'm telling him that because I have the information I could pull out right now. They never came to America, so we can't claim them as people here. And plus, the name Yah could be like Aliyah, which is a Muslim name. Yah, Y-A-H. Hold on a second, brother. Hold on a second. It's a Muslim name because Muslims controlled West Africa. Aliyah is a Muslim name. Sharia is a Muslim name. If you go to the baby names of Muslims, you'll see the name Yah. So when somebody says their name Yah, they don't have to be a quote-unquote Hebrew or an Israelite. The next, and I want to address this though. He said that the people who had the name Yah, the people.
Just putting the battery in his back.
So Garfield, so the origin of those names, Yah, is that with the Middle Netta or that's Islam, or does that come from somewhere?
What does that have to do with the people that he just said that they came to America, and that is proof? They came to Freetown. Do you want me to pull out? Do you want me to pull out the African names? I could. No. I could pull it out right now, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? My boy, who's a part of Dagger Squad, true story, and he worked with Slave Voyages, the website he's referring to. So if you put in slavevoyages.com and put African names, you see YAH. You see where they left from and where they went. They went to Freetown because a lot of Americans, free blacks from here, went to Freetown. That's where they set up people at. Freetown. And we know where Freetown is in Africa because the statistic says embarkation and disembarkation. Disembarkation means where you landed. Embarkation means where you went on the ship. So let's just be clear of that.
If I could just say one thing before I go. If you know anything about ISUBK, the little bit of information I gave him is plenty more. I just wanted to show why he was disqualified. He said that if the God of our power never did anything for us when we was keeping the law, statutes, commandments. I showed it. He has to pay somebody. I don't even pay my daughter's college tuition. I'm fine. But he should be paying somebody's college tuition because throughout biblical history, when we serve, even when you read the book of Judith, the Moabites ran down our whole records and showed the victories that we had when we were serving that power. So what he's saying is incorrect, which is why he gets ignored. Unlike everybody else in this whole conscious realm that you want to call it, I don't entertain everybody just because they got a mic in front of them or a YouTube channel. You have to actually be somebody. That's no disrespect to this brother, but he's just nobody to me. Shalom. Hey,
all right, shalom.
Can I?
Hey, you gonna come Monday? You said, right? Yeah.
Let me just respond to what the brother said. I said, a Son of the Studios. All right. Son of the Studios. I'm nobody. I'm a nobody. I'm nobody. I'm nobody. Listen. Listen. Let me tell y'all something right now. I said to everybody clearly.
He ain't the first cat. He's not the first cat that wanted to debate me or have dialogue that I stepped away from. He's a nobody. Shalom.
Peace and blessings to everybody here. But we know what's going on. I said last week right here that anybody that can provide evidence that anybody who came on a ship to America was a Hebrew Israelite. That's what I said. I'm going to ask Guerilla Hebrew right now. Can you provide evidence right now that anybody that came over on a ship physically in the Western Hemisphere? I'm not talking from parts of Africa to Freetown where the people with the Yah went. All right? I'm not talking that. I'm talking about who came over here to the West to fulfill prophecy that you guys talk about. Can you provide evidence that anybody who came over here said and declared, I'm a Hebrew Israelite?
Number one, there are a plethora of scholastic works done by actual tribal West Africans, not African Americans who have been totally disconnected from West Africa. I'm talking about the actual brothers that are from the continent, who are PhD scholars, i.e. Dakwa, who authored what? The Africans that wrote the Bible. What about the book Revelation, where they document their migration from Israel to West Africa and talk about how, listen, yes, Revelation, as well as the Africans wrote. Those are two of my top.
I want the evidence. I don't want to hear what somebody wrote.
Listen, that's the evidence. See, no. See, no, look. Now here's the thing. Now I'm going to show, listen. Now I'm going to show you how much white supremacy has dictated this man's mind. Number one, these guys claim that African ancestral religions is what it's all about, and that's our history. The history passed down from our ancestors. Well, our ancestors in the continent said we was Israelites and said their brothers got put on boats. You want me to go and sit in here and dig up some damn dead slave and resurrect him and have him to tell you he's a Hebrew Israelite? All right? That's white supremacy. Go ahead.
Good point, brother, but you're still running. I asked for one. Over 12 million people came over on boats, brother, and you cannot tell me one. You're quoting books. I'm not asking for books, because we got a bunch of books out here. I could buy all of them right now. The issue is, none of you guys who claim to be Hebrew Israelites perpetrating that fraud on us, by the way, can tell us right now that show me one person out of the 12 million that came over on a ship, on a boat, and said they were Hebrew Israelites. And I'm going to prove my point real quickly here. We look at the Moors, right? We look at the Maroons. If you look at their history, we could tell how the Islamic people went to Jamaica, where I'm from. Over 1 million slaves came to Jamaica because that was like a docking port to put the slaves in different areas all over the Western Hemisphere. And I could show and prove Muslims celebrating Ramadan, doing all type of stuff in Jamaica as slaves. You can't show me no Hebrew Israelite, none of them, saying I'm a Hebrew or I'm an Israelite. You can't show me one. And you tell me about books? I read those books. Show me one.
No. You see, now look, he gonna sit here and talk about a bunch of dead people, and I gotta go and dig somebody up and show him one. No. But look, I can say something. Number one, a brother who's from Jamaica, Mathato of House of David, just went to Jamaica and did an interview with the Maroons. Didn't now one of them say they was Muslim. What the hell are you talking about? You see that? So what are you talking about? So I don't watch the testimony. A Jamaican then went to Jamaica and did an interview. I was just with him last night, and guess what? The Maroons didn't say they was Muslims. So from what you're saying is, how can we say that any of our ancestors are African? How do we know where they didn't say they was African, did they? Was they even calling it Africa at the time when they first started getting imported yet?
Yeah.
All right, this is what you do. This is what you do. This is what you do, Elder. This is how you prove your point. By the way, after. Yeah, Elder. I agree, Elder. All right, the brother made a good point, and I must concede that point, because I'm an honest guy. Because I did a whole thing on the Maroons, and yes, the Maroons originally were not Muslim. The point that I'm trying to make when I brought up the Maroons is that when I was studying them in the 1800s, we have evidence of slaves coming over performing Ramadan, praying 5 times a day, doing those things. So how you know somebody's a part of a culture, ladies and gentlemen? You check 3 things. You check their how they eat, the foods that they eat. You check the holy days, if they remember them. That's so you check the diet, you check the customs of the holy days, and you also check like different foods or different names or different things that they might have that they carried over. All right, those three things. But check this out though. I asked the brother, son, it done it up.
I want to say this to my brother, Guerilla Hebrew. We got love for you over here, brother. But this ain't going to be no walk in the park, man. You got to go through the initiation just like Captain Tazaryach, just like Daniel Allah, just like Hashar. This ain't no walk in the park for you. So these questions coming at you, man, we got love for you. But this is the Dagger Squad right here. Don't forget. This is the Dagger Squad.
So they know there's no animosity with him, because I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to uplift his people for them to live the laws and the commandments and saying that they'll get God on their side. I understand all of that. The same thing that Malcolm X said. Oh snap! Let me just respond to this and give it to all right. The question I asked the brother originally is, can you prove that anybody that came over on a ship claimed to be a Hebrew or an Israelite? If we look to the slave narratives, if we looked at the accounts of the slave masters, we don't see no one in history that came over on a boat claiming to be a Hebrew Israelite. In fact, that's a new term. That term wasn't even used in history. It's a new term that was developed over what? Within the last 100 years. So what I'm trying to say right now to the brother is, we have Equiano. We know Oleander Equiano, who came over and talked about circumcision and all of that, but he never claimed he was a Hebrew or Israelite. He just said there were similarities in the culture because of circumcision and different things. But what I'm trying to show the brother is this, and I know he won't admit it on camera. There is no evidence anyone claimed to be a Hebrew or an Israelite ever that came over on a ship. It doesn't exist. What we have is people who develop Christianity and develop and use the story as Exodus as inspiration. Because if we look at Israel Hill, he's aware of Israel Hill because that's what he's going to come out with soon. But before he does, I'm going to say this. If you're aware of Israel Hill in Maryland, one of the richest communities right now, we still have people from Israel Hill originally when it was built up by Hercules and so forth. We still have remnants of the people still living there. The white boy Eli, he wrote a book on it and did a whole research. So we know those people still live there, but they were Israelites in the sense of building a community, because it was actually an integrated community, the first ever in the history of America. You know what I'm saying?
Here's a disconnect that we sometimes have. What some people would deem compelling or proof, others may dispute. The way that I would say that we can prove that they were Israelites is through studying the tribes that the slaves came out of. You understand what I'm saying? But also we have to take this in consideration. Real quick, you read that for me.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
We shall discontinue from our heritage. So according to the prophecy, just like when we deal with the prophecy of Deuteronomy 28 that we always go to, right? The prophecy of us coming over on the ships. There's also prophecies that we would discontinue from our heritage. So we would have to take a look at certain things, our customs and the things and the atrocities that we suffered in order to identify ourselves. That's how we would do it. Do I necessarily say I got a book in the document that says a nigga got off the boat and said, hey, I'm a Hebrew in slavery? No, I don't. But that's the way that I would say that would be the compelling evidence. Reggie.
Okay. The problem is with our people, we don't know who we are. We take up all of these identities. I respect your identity. The identities that we take up these identities, for example, Nile Valley, to think, not to say that I was ever my direct descendant came from ancient Egypt. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the knowledge of ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, spread throughout the rest of the world and impacted every group of people. Impacted the Berbers, and we do know that some of the Berbers were Hebrews. We know Queen Kahina from records is supposedly Hebrew, right? So we do know that we are multiple people because of war. So we really can't sit down and say just because they did Ramadan, they did Ramadan because they was enslaved. They was enslaved. They was forced to practice another religion because they was beaten. Because we know about the Arab invasion. What I'm trying to work on, right, is basic unity independent of history. So we can go back and forth in history till we sick, right? Till we blue in the face. Right. The fact of the matter is, there is something true and something real. What's real is you believe in your faith, and we believe in history. Wait, we believe in history, right? That's real, right? But the truth is that we're all fractured, right? And that we here have to struggle independent of our differences. The only difference between me and y'all, I'm older, I'm 51. I'm your elder. You might be smarter than, all of you are smart. There's Divine Prospect here. Brilliant dudes, right? I actually have studied under some of the greatest teachers. You got to give me that, right? That's on record. What I'm just saying is what did you say?
Not no more. He know him all.
Oh, he know more. Monk know more. So, but the fact of the matter is that independent of our goddamn petty differences, brothers, right? Can we get together and do something beautiful for black people, for our generation? Because at the end of the day, no matter these historical points, ain't none of us was there. We're latching on to it for our own arguments. And ain't got nothing to do. All we're supposed to do is learn from our goddamn mistakes so that we don't repeat it again.